In this video, I will discuss one very important theorem that says that the cost function always decreases in clustering. So let me just discuss the theorem first. First, we discuss the theorem, then we talk about the example. So you will understand this completely when we solve an example. So let X be a set. Let X be a set and rho is a measure of distance. In clustering, we need to find a distance between a centroid and the point. And suppose we have a set A, which is a subset of X, and a centroid. Centroid is important in clustering, and we find this centroid on set A that belong to X, and this centroid exists. Let D is a subset of X, be a data set, and K belong to natural number, some natural number. And the result of this theorem is then you get a sequence, then the sequence K, which is a cost function that we discussed in the previous video. It says that this sequence C1J up to CKJ and J belong to natural number. Then the sequence of evaluation. So of this cost function, you get the sequence of evaluations of the k-means cost function. K-means cost function. K-means cost function on the clustering is monotonically decreasing, is monotonically decreasing. That is the theorem which is very important in the sense that it says the values that you obtain from K will always be decreasing. So how the K look like? The K values for 1 is always greater than K value of 2 and so on. How many? It depends how many iterations do you have. Here, this J is the natural number, which says that the iteration number. C1J, Cij or C1J is for example, 1 means the first cluster at iteration J. So this is the ith cluster at, if I write this as Cji, so this becomes ith cluster at iteration. This is the cluster, different clusters we obtain. This is the full clustering we obtain at iteration J. The K This complete expression measures the cost score. It says that how good the cluster is. Okay, so this complete tells us the story of clustering. Either your clusters are good or those are bad. What is monotonically decreasing mean? This is the concept of calculus 1. It just says that if we have some iterations, suppose we have iterations on x-axis, this is iteration number 1, this is iteration number 2, iteration number 3, iteration number 4. And the cost is, suppose the cost of clustering is at iteration 1 is 40, then the cost at cluster number 2 is around, if this is for example this is 20, so it is, this value is less than 20 somewhere, then at iteration number 3 the cost of clustering is this value and this value. So when you join them together, this is called the monotonically decreasing. So the cost never goes up, it stays the same, but it is actually going down. And this is the, for example, if we have fifth value, so this is the converged value, and here you get the cluster. These are optimal clustering. Let me just give you one example how this is true and why this is true. So we solve by one example which shows that the clustering, the cost of clustering is decreasing when you get the optimal value. So we have the example over here. K is equal to 2, so it means that you are making two clusters. Data set is simple D values, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, and 9. These are the subset of R, and the measurement of data point X and the centroid is defined by X minus mu. And what we do, iteration, we take an iteration j is equal to 1, and we start from some bad clustering, for example. So according to this notation that I already discussed, we have iteration number 1 and we have cluster number 1 that is equal to 1, 2, 7. And at iteration number 1, cluster number 2, since we need to make two clusters, we need to create two clusters. So this is 3, 8, and 9. What is the centroid of cluster number 1 at iteration 1? The cluster number 1 has a mean. When you add, you get the centroid divided by 3. So this is approximately equal to 3.33. Similarly, you find the cluster centroid of cluster number 2 at iteration 1, and you can calculate similarly by adding the number and dividing it by 3. So you get 6.67. So this is centroid. Now, according to the formula that we already discussed in the previous video, so for iteration 1, we can find the K1, the cost. So what we do, we find a difference of all the values from cluster number 1 and take and the centroid. So from cluster 1 we have 1 and its centroid is 3.33 square. Similarly 2 and the centroid of this cluster is 3.33. 2 minus 3.33 square plus, then we have 7 minus 3.33 square plus, and the next we have 3, and the difference between 3 and 6.67, and taking a square we get some value 6.67 square. And then similarly plus from cluster 2 we have 8 and centroid is 6.67. 8 minus 6.67 square plus, then 9 minus 6.67 square. So this is the cost, and if we calculate the cost it is 41.28. Okay, so this is iteration number 1. Now we want to see if there is any change in clustering. So we make a table, point, and the distance rho to mu, the distance of rho to mu 1, and distance from rho to mu 2, and cluster, and if there is any change we write that change over here. Okay, to make some space, this is column number 3, this is column number 4, and that is change. Okay, is there any change in cluster? We measure over here. Just follow this example, you will understand many things from this example. The point 1, so we measure the distance between 1 minus 3.33, it is 2.33, it is 2.33. And similarly we measure the distance 1 minus 6.67, and this is equal to 5.67. And this is the cluster which is we are talking about is C1. So it means that the distance of 1 from the centroid is less than the distance if you measure, if you consider the distance, this distance is less than this distance. So it means that this 1 belongs to the same cluster C1 over here. It will change when this cluster has this distance is less value than this one. 4.2 we measure the same distance. 2 where is cluster, so this is 2 minus 3.33. what is this distance? It is 1.33, and 2 minus 6.67, and it is 4.67. so this is the distance. This distance is still less, so it means that 2 remains in this cluster. So this is cluster number 1. If there is any change, so we say no, there is no change. And similarly, third, 4.3, 3.3.33, the difference is 0.33, and then we have 3 minus 6.67, and it is equal to 3.67. so here you can see that the 3, if you talk about the 3 belongs to this cluster, cluster number 2, but the distance is but the distance in this cluster is less than this cluster. So it means that this 3 belong to the cluster number 1. So this should belong to cluster which is C2. And if there is any change, so we say that yes, there is a change. And if we continue with that, 1, 2, 3, and then 7, 7 minus 3.33, and then we have 3.67, and 7 minus 6.67. So this is equal to 0.33. So this should belong to cluster 2 since this value is less than this value. So this 7 should belong to cluster number 2. So there should be rearrangement. So there is a change. Yes, there is a change. So we continue with that with 8 and 9. The distance is 4.67, and then we have 1.33. So this value is less than for 7, for 8, and 8 belong to cluster number 2, which is correct. So this belong to cluster number 2. There is any change? So there is no change. And for this value, we have 5.67, and then we have 2.33, and 2.33 is less than this value. So it means that it should belong to 9 should belong to cluster number 2. It is already there. So is there any change? So no, there is no change. So after step 1, the cluster has been changed. C2, 1 on, and it is 1, 2, 3, and C2 iteration 2, cluster number 2 is updated like this 7, 8, and 9. So the centroid for this new cluster will be 2. The centroid for this cluster number 2 is 8. And if you find K2 again, so you can easily find that 1 minus 2, find the difference between 1 and 2, 2 minus 2 square, so on, 9 minus 8 whole square. This whole value is 4. So previously we had K1. The K1 was, what was K1? K1 was 41.28, and the K2 is the cost value for in the iteration number 2 is 4. So it means that it is monotonically decreasing, which is confirmed from this example. So it means the theorem is correct and the clustering will be updated again like this. Thank you for watching.